Imagine getting up every day full of energy as if you were in your 20s again. What would that be like? What would it be worth to you? What is your health worth to you? Think about it. Your health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. And yet, too many of us are taking it for granted until something goes wrong. And no one wakes up hoping to be diagnosed with a disease or chronic illness. And yet, we've never been taught how to be proactive in our health through our school or public health. As a registered health coach and integrative health practitioner, I believe it's time this information is made available to everyone. Combining new knowledge around your health and the ability to do my functional medicine lab tests in the comfort of your own home will allow you to optimize your health for today and all your tomorrows. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Welcome back to the Don't Wait for Your Wake Up Call podcast. I am your host, Melissa Deely, and very excited to be sharing with you today another special guest, Janet Omstead. Welcome, Janet.
Hi, nice to be here.
I'm super excited to have you here, and I just want to introduce you a little bit and then let you share your story with the audience. But Janet is Canada's play expert. How fun does that sound? She's also an author, an executive health coach. She is on a mission to reignite people's passion for play to help fight lifestyle-related disease while improving their quality of life as they age. With over 20 years of experience in the health and wellness industry, Janet's strength as a play expert lies in working with habit-based change behavior, psychology, allowing individual and corporate clients to make sustainable progress towards optimal health. Ultimately, Janet helps her clients thrive through a deep health methodology. Most importantly, Janet guides people as they change their habits and have fun. And so I love that you're looking at using play to fight these lifestyle-related diseases. And that's why I wanted you on the show, because it aligns so beautifully with the work that I'm doing to also fight those same lifestyle related diseases. And so please jump in and share with the audience what brought you into this life of play.
Well, I've always been a huge kid at heart. All fun aside, I really am passionate about health and wellness, and it comes from a deep sense of, understanding how life is short. And the reason I became a health coach after years and years and years of having an interest in health and wellness is because my body gave me a sign in my 20s, which almost took my life. My body was screaming at me and I wasn't paying attention. And I nearly died from a ruptured ovarian torsion 6 weeks before I got married. And I made it down the aisle, and that experience made me promise to myself I would never take my health for granted. I would always look after myself. And ironically, when I wrote my book on play also stands for please look after yourself. In my book, I have some acrostics, and that's a huge one for me. So play is a double meaning. Please look after yourself, which I promised at 24 I would. And also the act of understanding life is short, and we do get to take care of ourselves. We don't have to, we do get to. And I think that's really, it's a choice, and it's a gift. And, we are so lucky to live in an age where we have lots of options to take care of our health. But finding the most sustainable way really matters to me too, because I know there's a lot of quick fixes and magic potions that are sold to us, but, sustainable habit-based change and the psychology that goes with it, making deep changes that our behaviors reflect our values and our own beliefs. That's how things last. And that's what makes you show up every day and be able to take care of yourself the best way you can. So.
And as hard as it was to go through that at the age of 24, just before getting married, again, when we always look back at these things with 20/20 vision, and we know that things happen for us, not to us, right? Mm-hmm. And you were able to recognize that this happened for you because you needed to learn that lesson, that it was a choice to look after yourself, and you wanted to step into that, and you needed to listen to your body. And I love that because, again, it's so much about what I teach in the work that I do. And my regular listeners will have heard me say this many times, but at first, our body whispers to us with the gentle touch of a feather.
Yeah.
If we don't listen, it might
It
come along
screams.
and thump us with a brick. And if we still don't listen, then watch out for the wrecking ball, right? And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that is the reality for too many people, because society teaches us to suck it up and push through and keep going, right?
Yeah. Work through the pain, which is
Exactly. And be
like
tough,
ridiculous. Yeah.
as opposed to our symptoms truly are our body's way of talking to us and asking us to do something differently.
Yeah. And you know what? It's really served my own personal life well, outside of my first health scare then.
Right.
But as you know, I'm a mom, and I have kids that have all had their challenges, and they all started from their bodies talking to them. And I was able to say to them, you have to pay attention to these signs, because they aren't fake, they're real, and you may want to brush them aside. But in fact, my husband, most recently, his body was talking weird to him, and he luckily went to the doctor and was able to capture a really serious medical condition early, and get the treatment he needed. And thank God he listened to his body. Like, it's really important. I don't know how much that else just to tell people, please look after yourself. It
Yes.
really matters.
And listen to your body, like you
Yes.
say, right?
Yes.
And, get to the bottom of it. Don't just mask it either,
Oh, and yeah,
right?
and don't wait. A lot of people are scared. And that's
Mhm.
often what happens to me as a coach. I will get referred to by a medical professional or another client who's worked with me. And often because they, like your line of work and mine, they've had a wake up call, or they're scared about something. And even if someone comes to me and they're kind of suffering from something, I'll say, please go to your doctor. Let's get this diagnosed on the one hand, and then let's bring in all the other magic that is available to us to help you, be healthier. And yeah, it's never too late to get the help you need. And I think it's crucial that more people do,
But
instead
the
of putting off.
earlier you do it,
The better.
the
Oh
easier
yeah.
it is, right? I'm always talking about the body being in balance, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if it's just a little out of balance, it's just a little tweak to bring it back into balance. But when it's
Exactly.
way out of balance over here, it's going to, take more effort and more work and take longer. But
Yeah.
the other thing that I like to share with people is you didn't just get here overnight. So why are you expecting to be better overnight? This has
Oh,
been
so
building in
true.
your body for weeks, months, in some cases, years. And
Exactly.
so if working with me or working with you is a 6-month process, that's still, in most cases, much less time than what you've already been
For sure.
going through.
And, and especially in my line of work too, with habit-based change,
Mhm.
the secret really is, you may not have paid attention to all those little changes you were making to get at that out of balance. But when you start making little changes consistently over time, yeah, they're manageable. It's manageable. It's doable. And like you said, it will eventually come back. You just have to give it time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have your book here, which I've thoroughly
Oh,
enjoyed reading, and I see your background there.
and I have a copy here.
Yeah. And I highly recommend people pick up this book because it is so much great information in it, some worksheets, etc. And what I also really love that you have in here is your list of 150 different things to get people moving. For those watching on video, 150 ways to move more. So I don't know if you want to maybe share your favorites from this list, just to kind of inspire some people for some things that they haven't thought of. I certainly know I love moving my body, but yeah, what are maybe it's your favorites, or maybe it's the easiest ones for many of your clients to step into when you get them moving again.
Yeah, there's two things about that list. 150 is kind of a double meaning. 150 minutes a week is the
Right.
minimum amount of
Yes.
time people need to invest to keep healthy, which is, if you break it into time, it's 20 minutes a day.
Right.
And 20 minutes a day. The magic here is it doesn't have to all be done at once. You
Right.
can break it up. So coming up with 150 ways to move, I think that's, something that comes very naturally to me. I can be outside and look at a sidewalk crack and think, oh my gosh, I could jump over the sidewalk crack. I could do squats on the sidewalk crack. Like there's lots of ways
Remember
to
skipping over it as children, like don't step
don't
on the
step on the
crack, you'll
crack.
break your mother's
Right.
back.
That one. There's lots of rhymes. Yeah, they're really
Yeah,
good.
and
They're
don't
very
step on the
helpful.
line or you'll break your father's spine. I mean, I
Right.
grew up in Japan and we did that, right?
There you go. There you go. So the 150, so the 150 minutes a week, and then 150 ways, because I honestly think people deserve the option to find what works for them. And one of the assessments, personal assessments, I didn't want to actually call them worksheets because I don't want people to think of working out as this like negative, right? When you get to move you don't have to, but you get to play. So the personal assessment on what did you like to do as a kid? Because that is still available to us.
Mm-hmm.
You just because, we grow and age, but those things that brought us joy as a kid are still available and often just as good as, if not better than, especially for people that don't like to go to a gym. The world is your playground. So my favorites, well, I love skipping rope. I love hula hooping. I love to hula hoop. I love to stand in line. Yeah, I love to stand in line and balance on one leg.
Right.
Or, I love to airbox if I'm at a stop sign. Like I just think of, I actually also don't care what people think when I'm doing these things in public, but or if I want to do some functional movement, because we all need to keep strong and functional as we age. Functional is just how we move our body naturally, like getting in and out of a chair or on and off of a toilet or in and out of a car. All of those movements need to be practiced so we can still do them. Yes. So, in my book, I even refer to stacking a habit that you may not want to go do squats somewhere, but boy, you go to the bathroom, you can do 5 squats after you've gone to the bathroom very easily. And so every time you go to the bathroom, you can add that habit on. And yeah, it's just simple ways to put more movement in your day and make it fun and playful. And then you can get those 150 minutes pretty easily. It's not that hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes from choosing or recognizing it's a choice. And then, as you say, just figuring out how you can fit it in small different places through the day.
Yeah.
So I'd love to share with you a couple of stories. I recently bought the mirre. Are you familiar?
Oh, how do you like it?
Oh my goodness. I cannot say how much I love my mirror enough because
awesome.
It's 10,000 workouts to choose from, right?
Right.
It's right downstairs in the living room, kind of behind the couch. So I can do like stretching in the evening and my husband's watching TV and I'm on the other side of the couch. He doesn't even know I'm there doing my stretching. So I stretch way more, which is really important after my days on the mountain skiing. But with 10,000 workouts, I do something on that every single day. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 classes because they have 5-minute classes. They have 15-minute classes, right?
Yeah.
And I've tried all these new things that I wasn't doing before. So I was spending about $1,400 a year on my yoga and my gym membership. Mm-hmm. Now I've bought this and the ROI is like within a year. And I pay $50 a month membership for it, but for all of these different classes now. So I've tried boxing. I never did boxing before, but now I'm learning how to box, right?
Fun, right?
I've got cardio strength. I just found foam roller stretching the other day, which I needed after we had 70 centimeters of snow on the mountain last Monday and my thighs were killing me. So I've been doing foam roller stretching. I did Tai Chi with my kids when they were home at Christmas. We were laughing. There's kickboxing, there's bar, there's Pilates, there's yoga, there's toning, there's sculpt, there's bar. I mean, there's so many different workouts on there. You can do competitions with other people. So they'll like put your pictures together and for 30 seconds, you work out as hard as you can and you get a score. So it's super fun. And again, it makes me feel like I'm playing and it's really convenient, right?
It's a big piece for people, really big piece.
Because even going to the gym is still for me, if I walk, it's a 20-minute walk. And then I do an hour workout and then it's a 20-minute walk home. So that's a big chunk of my day. Or if I drive, it's still a 5-minute drive and right? And then just to be able to go downstairs for 5 minutes and just do something for 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I really love that they've come out with that. And
Yeah, the pandemic really did serve us well
Mhm,
on that front because
did.
it brought the option to a lot more people. I mean, even if you don't have a mirror, there are, YouTube has thousands and
Yes,
thousands of
exactly.
classes. And, Peloton, you don't have to own a
Yes,
Peloton bike. You can use the app,
right,
you don't have to have a bike. Just, I think that's, you bring up a really important point: convenience, fun. And if you'll use it, then you'll do it.
right.
So, and there's no right or wrong, right? You're
Right.
experimenting. You're a perfect example of you're trying stuff on and wow, I really like that. And who knew? And it just opens up a whole world that I think as we age and as life evolves, we deserve that. Because why wouldn't you try? There's no reason not
Well,
to try.
exactly. And it has opened up a whole new world because before all I did was cardio classes and strength classes at the gym, and
Yeah.
then my yoga classes, different kinds of yoga classes. But I didn't have access to bar and Pilates and kickboxing and
Mhm.
boxing and all of these other things, right? And I certainly wasn't stretching as much as I should. Sure, 5 minutes at the end of every class, but not like I should be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Sure.
what I also love too is the whole family can do it. And like I said, they have classes from 5 minutes to an hour, from beginner to advanced. So there's something for everyone. There's even chair workouts.
Which is fabulous.
And I've done some chair stretching, which is just as good as not doing, like there's all sorts of things. So it doesn't matter where you're at, you can get started.
You can
And
absolutely.
the,
Also, I do want to point out, you said something really, really valuable there, is that there's 5 minutes, there's 10 minutes. The only reason that people think they need an hour is because that's how trainers get paid.
right.
It's a huge fallacy to think that that is a necessity. You don't need an hour at all. If you have an hour, awesome. Go for an hour walk or whatever. But
Right.
you know, just that all movement matters, and the time you have, like you said, it's fantastic.
And in fact, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard from other trainers that you're better off actually moving multiple times through the day than doing a whole hour-long workout first thing in the morning and then not moving all day, right?
Absolutely. That is
Splitting it
very
up into
true.
those little 5 minute workouts is better.
So have
Um,
you heard of non-exercise activity thermogenesis? It's called NEAT.
I have not.
Okay, so NEAT is exactly what you're talking about. It's a fancier word, but NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which means you are doing yourself a disservice by doing your workout and sitting for the rest of the day. You almost cancel out the benefits versus, yes, please still keep up your strength and your cardio and those things, but be intentional about how you're moving throughout the day. Set timers to get up. You absolutely, that movement is as good as, if not better than, a full long workout.
Right.
All that's why all movement matters. And that's why, yeah, it throughout the day, it's everything. It's kind of the thing that people don't talk about, but really everybody should know.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I live in a 2-story home. So after each call that I do with my clients, I'm always up and down the stairs, right? Just on purpose. I need more tea or something else. And then I sit on a ball, and I love my ball
Yes,
because I can wiggle, right? And
right. And
I'm just
down.
always moving. Exactly.
Yes. You've got things going on there, girl. I love it.
I love all of this. And what I do want to say too about the mirror that I really loved is they give you a 30-day money back guarantee.
Right.
So you can't lose. You can
Right.
buy it and try it. And if it's really not for you, you can return it. But I bought it and I tried it and I just loved it. So 4 months
Yeah.
later, I'm still rocking my mirror.
Again,
But
find something you love to do and you'll stick with it.
exactly.
And if it doesn't work, there are thousands of other ways to move your body.
100%.
Absolutely. And get
So
outside too. Yeah.
something else that I also want to share with you, you were talking about, what did you do when you were a kid, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I recently did some training, and I did NLP and timeline therapy and hypnotherapy training. And we're tapping into the unconscious mind. And I know you're all very familiar with that, with habit change. I'm actually reading Atomic Habits right now too.
Oh,
So
what a great book.
so aligned here.
Yes.
But, understanding that our unconscious mind is a toddler, right? It just wants
Oh,
to play and have fun. And it only communicates in signs and, numbers and single words because it's a toddler. So I went out for a walk during the day that we were doing hypnotherapy, and it was just a beautiful sunny day. And
mhm.
I just let my phone just start playing music, and I just wanted to dance. And I'm on the Valley Trail. I live in Whistler, so no one was around me at that point. And when music comes on, I just have to move my body. So
You and me both.
I'm like dancing across the bridge, across the waterfall, and my eyes are closed and I'm twirling and I'm thinking, I'm just like a little kid. And I start skipping and it takes me back to being 7 years old. I can't remember the last time I skipped, right? And then I see a man walking up the path the other way, and I'm like, he probably thinks I'm a nutcase, but I don't care. Maybe he'll just see my pure joy, and maybe that will make him happy for today, right? Exactly. So I kept on skipping past and enjoying my music, and I literally felt like I was 7 years old again, and it was amazing. But so often we hold ourselves back, right? Because we think, well, an adult can't behave like that.
Yes, we can.
Why not?
I know. It's true.
When did we all get so serious?
Well, that's the thing. Becoming an adult does take on a level of seriousness that also sheds the light on the fact that, we think these playful moments aren't available to us anymore. I mean, imagine if your spouse or your friend said, hey, let's go play in the woods or instead of going to the gym. It's so much easier to say, okay, I'm just going to go out to play for a while. I'll be right back. Then I have to go do this serious thing because I know it's good for me, but I actually hate it and it's really bothering me, and those kind of things. Giving yourself permission to getting back to being a kid feels way more fun and achievable than not. It's a state of mind, really, Melissa. Play is a state of mind, and exercise is play. And if
love that you said that it's a state of mind. I totally agree.
Yeah. If people can switch their thinking and understand that, play is exercise is play, then their whole world can open up.
100%. Yeah. And I love what you said about let's go play in the woods, because I know you've mentioned that play is nature's therapy.
Oh, right? Play is nature's therapy on so many levels. And, the mind-body connection is so powerful, and you really can feel it big time when you're outside in nature. The mental and physical benefits of being outside is really next level. And again, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take, and I also like to say there's no bad weather. There's just
only bad clothing.
Bad gear. Yeah.
I'm a Girl Guide leader. I know that one too.
Okay. that must be where I got it from. I was never a Girl Guide leader, but I no matter the weather, play is still available to us.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. As long as you're safe, of course.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And because it boosts your mood, it improves your memory. It helps fight disease. There's chronic diseases that are preventable if you spend more time moving your body and enjoying nature. That's why it's nature's therapy.
Well, and because we know that nature helps us drop out of our chronic stress state and into our rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system. And in our world today, too many of us are living stuck in that chronic stress state.
Oh yeah, fight or flight.
We're in that fight or flight, right? In order for the body to be producing the cortisol and the adrenaline that it thinks we need in order for us to get away from the lion or tiger that it thinks is chasing us, it shuts down other systems, one of which is our immune system, because the immune system takes energy. And right now the brain thinks we need all the energy we can to get to safety.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so therapeutic. And I mean, I'm so fortunate. I live in Whistler. I've got nature all around me. It was a choice to live here. I only ever came for one season, and 32 years later, I'm still here.
Here you are.
At 22, somehow I knew to make that choice. But I remember just a couple summers ago, I went to Vancouver for the day, right? So driving around in the city, and I was doing appointments and things. And so that can be stressful when you don't do it all the time, right? And on the way home,
who put all those cars on the road?
Exactly.
Where is everybody going?
Where am I going to find a parking spot, right? Yeah. And why is it so crowded in this line? Because I have 5 minutes to get to my next appointment. Anyway, so I'm driving home, and I stopped in at Alice Lake, one of our camping sites in Squamish, where my sister and her family were camping for the week. And it was my niece's birthday. And I pulled into their spot and I parked, and I needed to go to the washroom. So I walked over to the little outhouse there. And as I walked back towards their site, like I had not been there 2 minutes, and I physically felt the stress
Right.
just leave my body.
Yeah. Huh? I
And
know.
it was just, again, another reminder of I'm fully aware of the benefits of this, but to feel it so, you know, I don't know, viscerally, I guess, in my body.
Yeah.
It's just that aha of, gee, I did kind of have a stressful day today, for it to leave my body like that within 2 minutes of being back in nature.
Love it.
Right. So
And by an outhouse. Wow. That's really,
yeah,
there's a lot of relief happening
it
on
didn't
many
fall
levels.
in.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so talk to me more about, I know there's studies that show the benefit of, nature, and the benefit to the brain, et cetera, and benefit to health. So share a little bit more of these studies with me.
Well, sure. There is a recent study found that moderate physical activity thickened parts of the brain in beneficial ways that led 60-year-olds who had been sedentary scoring as though they were 20 years younger,
Wow.
which is kind of phenomenal with executive function, which is the ability to pay attention and organize and achieve goals. So, that in itself, having that happen, but also, the other medicinal benefits of play are it can help manage arthritis. In fact, it can improve arthritis symptoms by up to 40%. And even that 150 minutes a week, the moderate physical activity, can reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 26%.
And
And
that's huge in today's world.
26%, yeah, with moderate intensity.
Right.
And that's what people have to really understand, that 1 in 4 adults globally do not get 150 minutes a week of
Right.
exercise, because there's this stopgap between what they think they need to do to get in shape versus really what's available to them. And that's where I'm, bringing this whole play message back to, is that 150 minutes is seriously easy to get when you give yourself more permission to be playful and find
Right.
the things that you like to do.
Right.
So,
And you've got a whole list of 150 things to start sparking ideas.
oh, that, and, also I didn't want to write my book I didn't want to write another exercise book. I didn't want to write a book that says, this is what you have to do, and this is the way you have to do it.
Right.
I come at this as truly as a coach. Here are some tools you can use to start understanding how much time you're moving every day, the kinds of things you like to do, your vision of what being healthy as you age looks like. I even actually did a vision board specifically for this book, which I have as a screensaver on my computer. And, it's literally, it's fresh fruits and vegetables and playing in the woods and being in nature. And those things, they really speak to me, and still to this day. And also things in my book, really what you value and believe, and really, what you're willing, able to do, all helps paint the right picture as an individual to find the way to move a little more and play every day.
And I love that you made a vision board around it, and just to create that future plan for yourself.
Yeah, well, we
Because
all
when we,
deserve some inspiration, and we
yeah,
all imagine, this is not about getting cut for a competition, play. It's not about, always building and goal achieving and those type of things. And it's also not about fitting in a dress from when you were 15. This is about like achieving manageable, sustainable change, and movement. Play is the most positive catalyst for change. Once you start moving more, you feel better.
mm-hmm.
Once you feel better, you'll probably sleep better, because you're a little more tired, like your body's working for you, not against you. When you're sleeping better, you actually eat better. All those ways to manage our health as we age are available. And I believe the lowest barrier to entry and the most fun way to do it is playing. 100%.
I totally agree with you there. Totally agree with you. And you also mentioned just there, we all need a little inspiration. And so I just want to let the audience know that if you're tuning into this episode for the first time, that this is coming out in my theme of play for the month of May 2022. But my April episodes were all about inspiration. So if you're also looking for inspiration in your life, go check out those episodes as well. So I agree that the lowest barrier to entry is play. Like there's almost no barrier at all. And we can just walk outside our front door and find ways to play when we open our mind to that. Something, again, I'm grateful for through this pandemic is I bought a paddleboard because I figured, well, if I can't travel anywhere, I'm going to be home more. And I absolutely love my paddleboard. In fact, last year, April 16th was my first day on my paddleboard. And I
Awesome.
paddleboarded for 7 days in a row because we had this sudden week of gorgeous blue sky, sunny weather.
Yeah.
I won't be on my paddleboard this year on April 17th, 16th, because the mountain is still open for the
Oh
first
my
time in
goodness.
2 years, where
Long
spring
season.
skiing
Oh,
is usually open, but the last 2 years it closed early. But secondly, we still have a lot of snow this year, and the weather isn't as warm. So I will keep skiing, and then in May I'm looking forward to getting my paddleboard out. But the other thing that I started was backcountry hiking with my oldest daughter.
nice.
And we have absolutely loved getting out into nature, hiking up, taking everything with us, exploring different dehydrated food options, et cetera, having our tent. And we're again planning this summer more backcountry camping trips because we just enjoy the time together, the memories. We're taking devices, but we can't really use them. We're having them for when we're like on the way back and forth, et cetera. But we're out of self range, right? So we're leaving the world behind
Love
and
that.
just getting into nature.
You know what else I love about that? And I share this a lot with my clients in that in itself, what you're doing is a wonderful role modeling opportunity to help. I know you're a guided health professional, but you truly are guiding your own child and helping them explore and understand those wonderful ways that nature can really decompress us and really help us tune into our world. I think it's great. There's a lot of people that struggle with their kids on devices or their grandchildren, or it's a real issue. But having the opportunity to be in a role model position to introduce the people that we love to other ways of getting outside and moving, it's wonderful. So I applaud you for that.
Well, thank you. And we both really love it. And in fact, it was she that last October, before we went, she looked up the time of sunrise and she made me get up.
Oh, I love that.
At 4:30 in the morning.
Well, there's that.
Because I think sunrise was at 5, but we wanted to see all the beautiful change of the colors in the sky, right?
I
so
hope
you have to first get up when it's pitch black.
Yeah. Did you take pictures?
We took a lot of pictures and we just sat there in complete silence. We found an empty platform that we just went and lay on in our sleeping bags and looked up at the sky. And then when it started getting lighter, we actually sat up and took tons of pictures. And it was just, we barely talked. We didn't need to talk. We were so in awe of what happened.
Awe and wonder.
Yeah.
We all deserve more awe and wonder.
Yeah.
It again, like nature, it's available to us.
Yeah.
You just have to be intentional.
Exactly.
And when your intention matches what you really desire, that I'm so glad you had that experience together. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was super, super fun. And I absolutely, love what you're doing, and not only bringing this to individuals, but also into the corporate workplace, because that's often where we can feel like we have to be serious. We're being paid to do a job, right? And, that is a little bit bred into us in terms of society, especially in the corporate world. I know from my experience in my past life being in the corporate world that it's serious. And
well, I think the Industrial Revolution really set the tone for that, productivity over fun. And I believe that it doesn't have to be like that. In fact, when I talk to corporate groups, the favorite topic I talk about is how to add more play into your workday. And people are often surprised by that, but it's not that hard. You just have to find a way. And again, role modeling as leaders, I think it's important that leaders take the time to model that behavior to their employees, because you can, you can. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Exactly. And I heard a stat, I don't remember the exact stat recently, but I know, employee engagements are at all-time lows right now. It's like ridiculous, like 80% disengagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they see the CEO or the leadership step into caring for themselves. So this was more about encouraging CEOs to look after their health, because they're looking after everybody else's and then they're not looking after their own. But what they saw was when the CEO started looking after their health, then everybody else started doing it too, because it gave them permission to do that. So maybe if the CEO went for a walk at lunchtime, if he can do that, I can do that, right? But if he's in his office working all through lunch, then the rest of the employees think that that's what they have to do too.
Yeah, it comes back to that role modeling, whether you're a parent or a CEO, being intentional with leading your healthy behaviors and your healthy habits around others that see it. It makes a huge difference on how people will show up for you as a parent or as a leader, for sure. Well, parents are leaders, so let's just put that all in the same category.
And the reality is when we're playing, we are getting out of that stress state. And so ultimately, you might be thinking you're taking time away from doing something to play, but you will actually get more done, because when you get out of that stress state, your frontal lobe will function better and you will be able to be more focused when you come back to your work, and your mind just won't be in this overwhelm of ping, 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 getting nothing done.
And not to mention all that playtime adds up to reducing the other big thing that's come out of this pandemic, which is anxiety and depression.
Yes.
Getting people to understand those movement habits, the play habit, can help to reduce it. Absolutely. There's a whole, I speak to Dr. John Rady in my book, who is like the preeminent psychiatrist on movement and play. And, just, it can be as good as, not necessarily replace medication, but as good as taking medication. Not that anybody should ever stop taking their medication without their doctor, but the regular exercise can work wonders for your mental health, and therefore also lead to productivity at the office. So
100% agree. Well, I've totally loved laughing with you throughout this episode, which is perfect because it's been fun and we've been playing. So I always love to ask my episode guests, what does, now I can't even say it. What does "don't wait for your wake up call" mean to you?
Oh, yeah. Don't wait for your wake up call means be as proactive about your health as you can. You are the CEO of your health. You are the person in charge. And having, stuff happens in life, but the more prepared we are and the better we take care of ourselves proactively, when those wake up calls happen, like we talked about at the beginning, they're way less scary, because you have things in place to help you manage through and come out the other side on the positive end. Because wake up calls will happen to everybody. They just do at some point. So the more prepared, like a girl guide, the more prepared you are, the better off you'll be, because true health is wealth.
Exactly. I love that. And I'm so happy to hear that your husband has just experienced exactly that. So, and that he's doing really well. So that's awesome. So if people are interested in learning more about you, your work, your book, how can they find you and reach out to you?
So everything anybody needs to reach out to me is on my website, which is Janet Omstead. So no L, no H, OMSTEAD, Omstead.com. And over there, you'll find links to find my book. I have free downloads, those assessment sheets we were talking about, a free first chapter of my book, if you'd like to get a preview, and also, speaking or coaching, it's all there. So,
Perfect.
or on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and I'm on LinkedIn, and I think those notes will be in.
Yes. So I will make sure all of that is in the show notes for the listeners. And yes, thank you very much for the gift to the audience as well of the first chapter of your book, because I know when people read that, they will definitely want more.
Oh,
and as we finish up, what is one tip that you would like to leave with the audience so they can listen to this and then go out and just start playing today?
The tip of this moment, I would say, is the mindset is I get to play. I don't have to work out. I get to play. And when you change your mindset, it will make a big difference to how you show up. And I'd love to hear how you're playing. So let me know if you've found something fun. Reach out to me, because it would be great to know how you determined that.
I love that. So yes, start playing and email Janet and let her know what you have started doing in your life. Well, thank you again for joining us here today, Janet. It's been so much fun. And thank you to my audience for tuning in every week. And we will be here again next week. So have a wonderful week out there, everyone.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Bye. If you're enjoying my content and someone that wants to step into being proactive in your health and learning more, I would love to invite you to join my membership community. There's a link in the show notes. For only $19.99 a month, you get access to all of my content, and there's a lot, as well as weekly calls that you can come and get your health questions answered. It's truly priceless. I'd love to see you join the community. Check out the link in the show notes.